Caitlin Clark injury update. Fever coach reveals Stars' status for Atlanta Dream. Those hoping for the return of Caitlin Clark will have to wait a little bit longer. The Indiana Fever had a health update on their Stars' immediate status after Clark was back at practice ahead of Tuesday's game against Atlanta Dream, which was slated to be the earliest date for her return based on the initial prognosis. Coach Stephanie White confirmed to reporters that Clark has made progress since suffering a left quad injury 2 weeks ago, but the team is still going to be cautious with her. Clark has already missed 4 consecutive games after suffering the injury May 24 against the Liberty. The Fever have a 2-2 record without her in the lineup this season. They beat the Chicago Sky 79-52 in their most recent outing. Here's everything to know about Clark's status for Tuesday's game against the Atlanta Dream, including the latest comments from Clark and White on the injury recovery process. Is Caitlin Clark playing Tuesday against Atlanta Dream? No. White told reporters after practice Monday that Clark is expected to miss her 5th consecutive game while recovering from a left quad injury. White said that while both Clark and fellow injured Fever teammate Sophie Cunningham have returned to practice, the team wants to make sure they are in basketball shape before returning to a WNBA regular season game. It's one thing to do some shooting drills. It's another thing to get out there on the floor, get into movement patterns, rhythm, timing, White said, according to the Indianapolis Star, part of the USA Today Sports Network. So picking and choosing the things they can be in practice so we can see their progression. Both of them being out for long periods of time, you've got to work your way into being game ready. The next possible chance for Clark to return from injury is Saturday, June 14 versus the defending WNBA champion New York Liberty. Caitlin Clark injury update. Clark suffered a left quad strain during the Fever's 90-88 loss to the New York Liberty on May 24, but the reigning WNBA Rookie of the Year said she doesn't know the specific play that caused her injury. She only knows it happened early in the contest. She got an MRI upon feeling pain after the game that revealed her left quad strain. The Fever initially announced Clark would be sidelined for at least 2 weeks, meaning the earliest she could return to the lineup would be Tuesday's game at the Atlanta Dream. Clark said last week there was a possibility for her to return then, but added that she wouldn't rush back if it's not worth it. We're trying not to put an exact date out there because it is kind of a day-by-day thing and see how I feel, Clark said Thursday. It's the type of injury like you don't know. When I wake up, I'll feel different than the day before. We'll see. White added more context to Clark's outlook when asked Monday if Clark had been medically cleared for basketball activities after team doctors reevaluated her during the weekend. I don't know if cleared is the right word, the Fever coach said. We're ready to start ramping back up and make sure. It's completely different when you're doing one-on-one workouts and when you're out there in 5-on-5 getting up and down the floor, moving laterally. So she's been allowed to do some practicing, not everything, and we're going to be smart. We're going to be cautious and we're going to play the long game and work her back in very intentionally. Caitlin Clark is on the mend, but not yet in full form. Her return hinges on deliberate, conscientious steps, rebuilding basketball muscle memory, on-court rhythm, and competitive conditioning. Coach White's approach reflects prudence, long-term health over the allure of a quick comeback. The earliest hopeful return is June 14 versus Liberty, though that depends entirely on Clark's performance in full practices. Either way, when she does walk back onto the floor, she'll be ready to electrify. Let me know if you'd like an analysis of Fever rotation sans Clark, their postseason hopes, or how her return could shake up the East standings.